Hey everybody, I'm Scott Starcher and I love to cook. Welcome to Make Your Belly Happy Barbecue. Let's get to cooking. Hey everybody, welcome back to Make Your Belly Happy Barbecue. I got me a new hat. Well, it's not a new hat, my old hat. And Kaylin, my girlfriend, she put this on here for me. I can't, it's hard to see this backwards, but anyway, there it is. So, today, in today's video, we're going to be making baked macaroni and cheese. It's one of my favorite things to make. It's just real cheesy, real creamy. It's not your mom's macaroni and cheese. My mom used to make the elbow macaroni, and then I think it was the government cheese, the big blocks of Velveeta cheese that we used to get, and melt that down into whatever, or it was the Kraft box cheese with the powdered cheese. So this is an easy recipe to make. It's one of my favorites. Another thing I like to, I'll talk about this later, but just different things you can add to it. You can add proteins to it, like you can add, one of the really good things is rib meat, and then put the whole thing and bake it in a smoker. That's really good. So there's different variations, and I'll talk about that as I go through the video. But let me give you a list of my ingredients. Alright, a list of my ingredients. We're going to start out with 1 pound of macaroni, cheddar cheese, whatever cheeses you like. A lot of times I'll just throw in whatever leftover cheeses I have, and I'll just throw in, whatever. But I always like at least 1 package of sharp cheddar. I put this on top of it, and it melts down over top of it. A stick of butter, some sour cream. Now don't roll your noses up, but I put cottage cheese in this, and if you ever tasted it, you'll say it's great. I also put a can of Rotel chilies. You can leave this out. I like the tomatoey, the pepper, the kind of the little spice it gives to it. I've got a teaspoon of garlic, a teaspoon of onion, and about a half a teaspoon each, or salt and pepper to taste. And those are the ingredients. So I got my water on, getting ready to get it boiled, get the macaroni boiled, and I'll be right back as soon as that's all boiled. All right, got my macaroni cooked to the directions on the box. Boil, get your water boiling, put a little salt in it, and just cook it to the directions of whatever your macaroni box or whatever pasta you use. You can use any kind of pasta you want. I've done an angel bow tie pasta and different ones. I'm going to add to the 1 box of pasta a stick of butter. And I'm going to let it stir around and until it gets all nice and melty. So I'm just going to let it kind of sit in there. I like to, when the pasta's real hot, you can see that steam coming off of it. It'll melt the butter up pretty fast. It's best if you use room temperature butter, and it'll melt faster. But so 1 box of, it's a pound of pasta, 1 stick of butter, and to that I'm going to add, I think these are 16 ounces, 16 ounce cottage cheese, 16 ounce sour cream. I got a little extra half a thing of cottage cheese. I'm just going to throw it in there too. The only thing it does is it makes it a lot cheesier. So let me get this butter melted, and then we'll start adding the other ingredients. Alright, now my butter's all melted, so I'm going to put in, usually I just use about 16 ounces of cottage cheese, but since I've got this extra, about half of one, I'm going to go ahead and put it in. Like I said, the only thing it does, it makes it creamier. This, the sour cream and the cottage cheese kind of takes the place of adding milk to like your box cheese. So we're going to add that in and get that all nice and stirred up. To that, we're going to add our Rotel chilies and our salt and pepper. Spread that around. Our garlic and our onion powder. And then I'm also going to add, this is 8 ounces of cheddar cheese. Well, I'm probably going to add a little bit more. I like mine really cheesy, so I'm going to add about another, probably about a whole, about 16 ounces of cheese total. And then we're going to stir this up. Alright, mac and cheese all stirred up. And it's looking really good. Real creamy. I've got a tin pan. You can use, whatever baking dish you want. You can split it up into 2 baking dishes. I'm going to spray it down real good. And then I'm going to dump it in there. Make sure you scrape down around the bowls and everything. I'd like to give a big shout out to an old buddy of mine that used to work at Lowe's in Vienna. His name's Lee. And Lee is the one that gave me this recipe. I wish I could take credit for it as being my own recipe, but it's my buddy Lee's. And I've kind of basically do the same thing he did, I think. But when he told me he put cottage cheese in it, I like cottage cheese, but I like it with tomato or something with it, as a side dish. I never thought about putting it in macaroni and make macaroni and cheese with it. So I'm like, yeah, right, Lee, you can't, that's going to taste nasty. It's not going to be good and all that stuff. So I was giving him hell about it. And then he brought it into work one day, and I was working at Lowe's part-time. And I brought it in the back room, and I ate it. It's the only way I'll make it now. Sour cream and mac and cheese. So put that aside. Smooth this out. Another thing you can do with this macaroni, once you get it, is press it down really good into like a loaf pan, like a cut back the sour cream and the cottage cheese a little bit and the cheese, but put it in a loaf pan, like a meatloaf pan, and then you can make it into little slices. Take those slices, and just like how we made the Wiener Schnitzel with an egg and milk wash and then breadcrumbs, and then you can deep fry it and have like little mac and cheese bites, and those are pretty good. I made those at the bar one time. It's really good. So the rest of the cheese I'm going to put on top, and then as we put in the oven, this cheese will kind of brown and melt. Everything's cooked. Now we're just getting it all to kind of come together. So this is all ready. That's it. A few minutes, very little prep time. And the longest thing that takes the longest is getting the noodles to boil. So this is ready to go in the oven. I wish I had one of those TV magic ovens where I could put it in and pull out the finished product and be a matter of seconds, but I don't. So I'm going to bake this. I bake it at 350 for about 15-20 minutes. You want to check it because you don't want to, but what's going to happen is it'll start bubbling a little bit. The cheese will melt, and I wait till it kind of gets little brown spots on top, so kind of like where it's baked, the cheese is baked. So I'd say about 15 to 20 minutes, and it should be ready. So we're going to put this in the oven, and then we're going to make our bellies happy. All right, the baked macaroni and cheese just came out of the oven. It was in there for about 25-30 minutes. I cook in a camper oven, so it takes a little bit longer than I wanted it to. But this is what it should be looking like. It kind of gets a little bubbly. And then I'm going to let it sit for a few minutes, and then we're going to taste it and see if it makes our bellies happy. Alright, it's time for the taste test to see if our bellies are happy. There's that mac and cheese. Take a big bite of this. Guys, do this recipe. You're going to have happy bellies. It is the most creamy, cheesy, awesomest mac and cheese ever. Some of the stuff that I've done, different variations, I've cut up peppers and put in it. I've cut up smoked the ribs. Got the Scott Senate Championship ribs, and took the meat off of it and put it in here, and then smoked this. And instead of putting it in the oven, I smoked it into my smoker. It comes out perfect, real good. I mean, there's just so many different variations you can put in. You can put any other kind of protein you like in it. Pepperonis go good in it. So there's just different things. So take the recipe, make it your own, put your different flavors in it. When you're done with that, hit that like button, subscribe button, leave a comment, and then hit that bell so you can get notifications on my next video. Make your bellies happy. I wanted to show you that one of these things I got at Tractor Supply, or not Tractor Supply, Harbor Freight. This is a magnetic, like tool holder or whatever you call it. It's like a little dish. It's got a magnet on it, and I stick it on my oven door, so when I'm cooking, I can put this up here, hang a trash bag on it, and it's my little trash bag while I'm cooking, and so I can just throw my stuff in there. But I just thought that was neater and skeeter, Peter. So, you know, if you guys like it, you go get these at Harbor Freight. They make great little things. You can put your screws and nuts and bolts in it. Since I have a place to keep my nuts already, I'm just going to use it as a trash bag holder. So there you go.